Mornthony Faltano here. And we will be reviewing the latest Deftones album, Private Music.
Yes, that is the name of the album that we did listen to.
This album is 42 minutes long. It has 11 songs, and it's the first album they've written since Chino became sober.
Oh, that's cool to know. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, so you're doing a Tool joke.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
What did you think?
What did I think? Okay. I guess I was going to say, I kind of wanted to hear what you thought first. I want to first start this by saying I'm not trying to be the angry critic. I feel like I might come off that way. I just think it was so okay. There was half of a really good album here, to me. I wrote all the songs down. 5 of the 11 songs are songs that I enjoyed that will be added to my playlist. And then the other half were songs that I just don't get the vision for. One of the things that we talked about for like the lead up to this and the single was kind of like we didn't get what the vibe was going to be. And now I think I get it, but I don't. I don't know. My just immediate thought, and then we'll pass the mic over, is just half of this album is really good. The other half, I just don't know what they were going for.
I feel differently. I feel like they had a pretty good idea of what we were going for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. It doesn't feel like they're trying to break any new ground or do anything experimental.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what I would say is the thesis statement for this album. Nothing new here.
Nothing new here.
Carry on like usual. We have our really melodic, very moany choruses. And occasionally we'll have a kind of verse, real up in there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing particularly new, I feel. And that's kind of what I felt from the first single that they released. What was it? My Mind is a Mountain. Mm-hmm. This is the Deftones song. This is again, signature, really melodic, really ethereal kind of stuff. And occasionally a grounded groove.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I expressed a little bit of discontentment when we reviewed that single because I was worried that the whole album might just be like, here are some Deftones songs. They're not going to be like earth-shattering. We might not try anything new, but here are some Deftones songs. And I fear that is what is the case.
I disagree in a different way. I think that it is new. It's new to me, at least, from my understanding of the music that we've listened to, of all their discography. It feels a little bit new in the contained listening to all of Deftones. To me, in the newness, quote unquote, is that the songs that I like, and I guess I'll just go ahead and point them out. Infinite Source and I Think About You All the Time are my 2 main favorites. I also think Departing the Body is fantastic.
I'm sorry. We have so like drastically different tastes.
Oh God. So okay.
Every single time we're gonna review more albums, I can almost count on it. We're not gonna have any overlapping favorites because that's what it was with Tool. I'm wondering how the Gojira ranking is gonna go.
Oh God.
But continue. I'm sorry to interrupt you with my cartoonish laughter.
It's okay. Did you write down what songs you liked too? By the way, yes.
I memorized them.
Okay. Cool.
I'll refer to my notes as well.
Right. Here's my thing. Those songs to me bring out a different kind of ethereal. It's almost and I'm not even saying like it's just new. It's different. It's more, I almost want to say rockish, maybe more. There's a word that I need to think of, but something to me that fits the album cover, that fits the vibe that's going for. What I despise and where I get into the angry Anthony Fantano 1 out of 10 is I hate some of these songs. Locked Club, I think was awful. I hated Cut Hands. Those songs, there's this thing that Chino's doing with this half yell scream thing he's doing. First off, Locked Club, mixing songs. Locked Club, there was this kind of spoken word, yelly thing, monologue thing. Get that out of here. Wasn't good. Cut Hands, it was just more of that yell scream thing. And it's just like, it's just not good. And to me, what I would have liked to see is like, you could definitely have an album. I wouldn't want an album of just the songs that I like, right? What I would have liked is if it was those 5 songs that are more in this kind of pretty effervescent, maybe that's a good word I would use to describe them, and then half of them being that real nice, heavy Deftones, but that's not what it felt like. It never felt actually heavy. It never felt actually cool. It just felt weird. I did not like any... I thought My Mind of Is Mountain is just fine. But every song that I hadn't listed, I guess I could list the ones that were my main thing, but it just, a lot of it was just mid. And if not mid, to me, sometimes intolerable. I did not like, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Locked Club. Not because of the vocals, though I will say, I don't know why you don't like Cut Hands. Cut Hands kind of was cool to me. I liked Cut Hands quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The yell scream kind of thing I kind of get, but Chino does that occasionally throughout a lot of the albums. Right. Cut Hands almost reminded me of Command Control off of Diamond Eyes, albeit less cool because Diamond Eyes is way better.
Infinitely better, yeah.
I really resented the verses on, what is it, Metal Dream, where he's doing this. I have in my notes, I say it's giving Papa Roach.
Oh,
this
yeah,
really
that thing.
like airy rapping almost, and I like Chino's rapping. I like rapping in metal. Trentin doesn't. I like Corey Taylor's rapping. I like a lot of Adrenaline because I like rap and I like just hearing it whenever. But this felt like stupid. It felt a little goofy. But Locked Club I didn't like, mostly because I didn't like the verse riff. It's this down, 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 and that's the verse riff, right? And you know what the chorus riff is?
What's the chorus riff?
Down, 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 down. It's literally the same exact riff, except for they added triplets instead of just quarters.
And then they go verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus over and over again. And it's like, yeah. Also, funny thing, I actually didn't mind the verse rapping on Metal Dream. I liked it. I liked Metal Dream, which is weird because, as I said, I don't care for. I guess to me, it didn't even read in my head as rapping as much as it was just a verse section, and he's doing this thing, and it wasn't let me say, I'm the first to say I hate fucking rapping in metal, and also when Deftones does it, right? I mean, refer to previous video if you're wondering what I mean. But that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
how I feel about that.
You mentioned liking Infinite Source, right?
Yeah, Infinite Source was maybe my favorite song on there.
That was the first song they wrote for the album.
Really? Well, I think that says to me, that maybe reaffirms what I think about the album.
I didn't like it.
Okay.
I did like it. Mm-hmm. I liked it a lot when I first heard it. But every time I listen to it, I get a little bit more disappointed because that intro riff with those natural harmonics is so cool.
Oh, totally.
And then they kind of repeat it for the verse, but it never like gets back to that intensity. Mm-hmm. It comes in with this, almost crushing riff, and then it devolves into the same Deftones song that is basically the rest of the album, which is a kind of spunky chorus, or a kind of funky verse, and then just the same chorus again. Mm-hmm. And I would pin most of that blame somewhere between the guitar work and the vocals. There's this hour-long interview that I watched from Apple that they did for this album, and both Chino and Stefan, the guitarists, say that they're in the business of making sounds over music. They're prioritizing the timbre of these songs over the structure. Mm-hmm. That's not an excuse to write almost the same song more than once. Yeah. Which, I mean, Deftones has never been known for their technicality or their expertise at any of their instruments, except for maybe Chi Cheng and Abe Cunningham. Abe Cunningham is a great drummer. I feel like he maybe dropped the ball a little bit on these songs.
Didn't even notice him.
He repeats the same, 2 groups of 3, 1 group of 2. boo, got boo, got over and over again on some of these verses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I wish there was more dynamicism, and the dynamicism that is provided on tracks like the last song, Departing the Body, or I Think About You All the Time, didn't excite me very much because it was a longer song that was much more chill, and then the hype songs are also kind of chill. So it's a flat line of an album for me as far as energy goes, and I don't like that. I like for more variation when it comes to track going on, but it's only 40 minutes, this album. It's a nice listen. Like, it's a chillaxing listen. It's not going to challenge you at all, which you could say is objectively a bad thing, but also it feels like they're not trying to make something super conceptual. Then again, I didn't read too much into the lyrics, but
right.
I could see,
either, sadly. Yeah.
I could see myself throwing this on, going to the store, going somewhere else. But if what I have to say about the album is that this is good for passive listening, is it that good of an album?
Yeah, I would agree, in just like my own Trenton way of I put songs in my playlists. I do this, and often it takes a really good album for me to actually listen to an album, and I'm not listening to this album again. Probably, I'm probably gonna snatch my favorites and then hopefully never listen to what I didn't like again. That was mean. I don't mean that. It's just I don't know. I'll say this, right? There's the sound thing, right? I like the sound. It's just not all sounds are created equal. Some of these, so for the songs that I don't like, right, that I've listed, the consistent thing for me was it felt as if it was going for something maybe slightly more heavy or something slightly more different, and then it gets to the chorus and it's that Deftones chorus, and then it just was never good. And that's kind of where I get into, I don't know. I wanted to say, as I started this listen, I wanted to say maybe I'm falling out of love for Chino. I don't think, I don't necessarily think that. I just think that just some of these choruses are not equal, and I can't it truly, because some of these choruses are really good. I think the more I think about it, I think maybe I Think About You All the Time is my favorite, and that had a wonderful chorus. I love that one. I don't know. A lot of these were good. Some of these were just him going, ah. It's just I don't know. It's just not good. And then mix it. Again, the ideal version of this album to me would be those songs with the really effervescent, really kind of bright, Deftone sound, and then bring it down with I don't know, maybe a Koino Yokan level of heavy a little bit. When they get heavy, I like that. You know what I mean? Koino Yokan had some heavy fucking songs. If you have that contrast, I think that would have been nice. Here, there was no really contrast. It was just, the contrast was the quality of the music to me.
This was produced by the same guy who produced Koino Yokan and Diamond Eyes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I worry because that means they can't blame it on their new producer for mixing and all the same. It means maybe their material was just less inspired.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. The material was definitely less.
Yeah,
inspired.
I liked a lot of these. Not a lot. I liked a few sections. I liked Ecdysis a lot.
Ecdysis was good.
The chorus was cool. The bass. I love that fucking intro. Honestly, I would have been happy if they never came in with a guitar and just had it be bass and vocals for intro. By the way, this is their first album with the bassist they were touring with after their last bassist, Sergio, left. This guy named Fred, I think is his name. So new bassist, first ever album with him. That being said, other than the intro to Ecdysis, I did not notice the bass a single fucking time.
I agree. I noticed it during what was it? It was either the last. It was one of the last two songs, "Metal Dreamer," Departing. But other than that, yeah, no, he had a nice intro. Other than that, didn't remember him. But I mean, it is Deftones. It happens sometimes.
There's this one drum part to one song. Track number 6, CXZ. There are these really clean kind of verses, if I'm remembering correctly. No, that's a different track. These verses are really heavy. He's doing that same kind of business with the snare, and then there are these like choruses. There are these refrains where Abe is doing this on the toms, and it almost feels like it's trying to be this chorus. I don't think that worked. I think some of these parts don't work. A lot of the drumming in the choruses or the verses come off as jerky in a way that I don't feel is flattering.
Right.
I remember, I think it's Hexagram off of their self-titled that had one of these back and forth between the kick and snare kind of grooves for a chorus, and I don't care for that generally. And here it's like most of the choruses or verses, it ends up being a lot of the sections. I liked Milk of Madonna. That was cool. However, I've heard people accuse it of reusing a riff from Mine.
Oh, no. From who?
Mine. That's a song off of Saturday Night Wrist.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't care.
some people who are a bit more
don't-
purist when it comes to that stuff will get their panties in a bunch over it. I don't care.
I didn't like that song anyway.
I liked it.
I
It was one of my
thought the
favorites.
chorus didn't. I thought it was repetitive, and the chorus didn't do it for me.
Well, as Adam Neely says, repetition legitimizes.
It did not legitimize. This album is art. That's another thing. That's another thing I was looking for a lot. A lot of these songs felt like some of these songs, like Infinite Source, I didn't need them to go crazy prog or anything like that. But a lot of these songs felt like it could have used an evolution. And when it did, I liked it. But some of the songs, like that one, it was just repetitive, and then it ended, and I was like, well, I didn't get anything out of that.
Yeah.
Not even a good chorus in my head.
Ecdisis's bridge / outro before they revert back to the chorus, that was a cool development. I
agree.
the way that one went. But like overall, this is a very all right album, almost to a fault. Like it's not all right in the way that it's like, this is maybe a reach that if you're watching this, you might not listen to a lot of rap, but Kendrick's last album, GNX, it's a good, all right album in the way that, like, there's not a lot of, it's not this super big conceptual thing. It's just a pretty brief album of just Kendrick playing some bumps, some songs that he like. Tyler did a similar thing on Don't Tap the Glass, where it's not this big old hullabaloo where, you know, every song has the super deep meaning. It's just like, this is a good album. It's an all right album. And I'm not going to blow it out of proportion. This is what you get, and it's all pretty good.
I just hope, and I'm sure it isn't. I feel like they would have repped it differently if it was, but I just hope this isn't their last album. I feel like they need you just make one or maybe two at most more. Just give me one like last hoorah, because if this was their last album, I would be heavily disappointed. Incredibly.
I just want to clarify about my Kendrick / Tyler analogy. What I'm saying is those are good versions of no nonsense good song albums that are pretty brief and pretty feel good. This is like that, but the songs aren't that good either. So you don't so you don't get anything super big or conceptual to dig into, which I guess is a relief that it's not a long album, because then I'd be fucking bored.
Dude, oh man.
And I don't know, like, I remember watching a few reviews of Gojira's Magma, and a critique that album got a lot was that it was kind of short. And if your main complaint for your album is that it's too short and you wish it would go on longer, that's a good sign. But if what I'm saying is if this album were any longer, it would become bad,
Totally.
that is not a good sign.
Yeah, I agree. It was funny because I was excited for Souvenir. I was like 6-minute song, and it kind of started going, and I was like, okay, this could do something. And then it was quickly like, this sound does not suit anything more than 4 minutes to 4 to 5 minutes.
This album's really all right, but coming from a band who's made stuff like White Pony and Diamond Eyes and Around the Fur, it drops a few points because they know how to make really good stuff, or at the very least they've done it in the past. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I just laughed because that just totally our brains were in sync just then, but like that just totally showed how me and you have not shifted our opinion on Koi no Yokan yet.
Oh, I've listened to it. I've actually listened to Koi no Yokan probably a few more times than I've listened to their other stuff. I like Koi no Yokan a lot. But
Okay.
yeah,
Way to
also
leave me in the dust here. But
I just don't want to get assailed in the comments.
so Koi no Yoga.
But I like Koi no Yokan. My main point. If another thing that I had thought, Trenton has listened to this album officially twice, I think.
Yes.
Once before today, and before we recorded, we listened to all of it again to refresh. I've listened to it a lot of it passively, and 2 times sitting down taking notes. Again, one of those was just now. And there's this quote from some director who I cannot remember the name of, and he says that if the first thing you can think of after watching a movie is that it looked really good or it had beautiful cinematography, there's a chance you watched a bad movie. And I'm thinking, man, this album is really atmospheric. And I cannot think anything good beyond that. I'm wondering if it didn't have that atmosphere, I would loathe it. I don't think I would, but I'm saying that like it feels like they're coasting off of their vibes heavily, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can get a little like a little boring.
I 100% agree. As particularly in just my view of I think I'm very firmly in that this is half of what could have been a really good album. So that's just that. You know what I mean? Like we're just kind of left to me with something that I will take some songs from and listen to later, and then leave in the dust.
Yeah. How did you feel about the mixing?
I had no thoughts other than, I guess this isn't even mixing. There was there's an echo reverb thing that they put over all of Chino's vocals that sometimes worked and sometimes didn't.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, most of their more recent stuff, pretty much. I'm trying to remember like the chronology of their releases, but the later albums, they dig more and more into their etherealness, and everything is washed in reverb. And I don't know if it benefits this album that much. Sometimes it does,
right.
But a lot of the times I feel like everything is so soaked in reverb that I cannot hear the mid guitar riffs that are playing, and I really want to hear the mid guitar riffs that are playing so I can complain about them. But
it only ever benefited. I'm making the same point over and over again, but it only ever benefited the songs that I liked, and then some songs where it's just him doing this it's just him doing the same line over and over again, and it's just like, it's just don't put the same. It never felt like it varied. It never felt like they really took that effect away unless he was doing like a different verse kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was like, do something different, or just don't put that effect on him. How long were they playing without this weird reverb shit? And his vocals were nice. I don't think it's not like his voice has gone out to me. I don't think.
Chino's great. I saw them live when they toured with Gojira a few years ago, and he's still got it.
Right.
This album took them about 3 years to write. Off and on.
Feel like it. No, sorry. Yeah.
They all live
off and off.
Yeah, apparently in different cities, and they'd only get together every once in a while to write. But I will say what songs I liked.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go through the track list even and tell you which ones I didn't like.
Yes.
My Mind is a Mountain, mid. Locked Club, worse than mid. Ecdysis, fucking awesome. I loved Ecdysis. Infinite Source, pretty good. Souvenir, I don't remember it. C, X, Z. All right. I Think About You All the Time. It was okay. The Milk of Madonna. Milk of Madonna. I liked it a lot. I liked its funk. I like its Cut Hands. I really liked, except for the fact that it reminded me a lot of Command Control. And like at that point, I could just go listen to Command Control if I wanted to. Metal Dream I didn't like. Departing the Body, I really like the intro, except for his vocals a little bit. I keep hearing everyone exploding about how we get to hear a deep voice Chino.
At the end, he's just on there's room. Bro.
And like,
bro, go change your panties. It's okay. You did it.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. You know what?
That's getting cut, so
that's
you don't get canceled, because what are you talking about? I like the intro of Departing the Body a lot, and then the rest of it was like pretty good, and it just kind of kept going on, and I'm like, all right, it is still pretty good, but I kind of get it. And I guess that's a lot of the album. It's just pretty good. And yeah.
We align a little bit more. Than I thought we would.
Yeah,
mostly.
I didn't.
Yeah. Into hearing your track list. I'm not going to go through my list and do the same thing. If you want to know what I thought, just listen to the video. And also look at me giving thumbs up as he went through the list. Thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, or thumbs down.
Yeah, I wish there was just more variation. Specifically,
Yes.
I wanted more groove. Like,
Groover, just a little bit more heaviest. Did he scream ever
No.
other than the yell thing?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Which,
Is
I mean,
it-
he's older. I guess that's if he can't physically do it or doesn't want to risk hurting his voice, because Chino did long ago, have to
That's
get
fair.
surgery on his voice. That's fair, but he screams live, so I don't see how screaming on the album is different from screaming every night on tour.
right.
But
I would argue that would probably be worse, right?
Yeah.
Than
So I don't know. Overall, I'd say this is an okay piece of music. If we had to put this in the Deftones ranking, which we did before this dropped, I would probably put it last.
last. Now, I wouldn't do that. I would put it above Ohms. Yes. real
Ohms was
quick-
interesting though. Ohms did stuff.
No, Ohms was not interesting, and Ohms did not do stuff. Ohms did the opposite of that.
Ohms occasionally had some groove. It had some stuff going on.
I would firmly put the magical list up above us. I would put it. Yeah, I would put it above Ohms. As much as it pains me to say below Adrenaline, I guess that's where I
See,
would put it.
And that's just. See, sometimes, Trenton, you just make such bogus statements that you invalidate all of it.
What do you mean? I said I gave you the credence. It's below Adrenaline.
Yeah, but
It's-
saying that that means there's some alternate universe out there where you're like, actually, never mind. Chino doesn't even like Adrenaline. Nobody likes
No,
Adrenaline.
it's-
It's his least favorite album, he said.
My heart, my gut wants me to put it above Adrenaline, but I also can't lie. I remember more Adrenaline. For sure. I can think of a lot more. So
Get bored.
I get bored. Yeah, no, I'm being nice. Above Ohms, below Adrenaline. They're one of their worst albums, sadly.
I'll link to the ranking video, but overall, it's not a terrible album, but it's nothing I think I'm going to remember. None of these come off as particularly memorable. Even the good ones can barely hold a candle to some of Deftones' higher points. Like, I can't
This is true.
ever see myself picking this album over a White Pony or, over even Adrenaline, because I really like Adrenaline, or any of their other work. I just don't see what purpose it serves that hasn't been done better before.
Yeah, on a purely a album listening basis, not gonna listen to it. On a song, there's some that you could pick up, and I'm glad that they exist, I guess. But that's really it.
Yeah.
So I do encourage you to listen to the album anyway. If you've heard this review and were interested, and this is like your don't let us be the deciding factor, because there's always something to find, and especially like our perspective, like from recently listening to all the albums and like looking into the actual community and what most of the community thinks, I've realized that me and Ashton are very much different than the general Deftones audience. So I'm curious what other people think. There's a chance that we could be dead wrong in what most people will think about this album.
I've
but-
seen a lot of mixed. I've seen some crazy switching up in TikTok comments where there'll be posts of people like vibing with it, and then people in the comments will be like, "Yeah, no, like if you like this album, you're not even a Deftones fan. So you're like, everyone's gonna switch up on this album. Everyone's gonna pretend to like it now, but it really sucks." And then there are other people saying, everyone's saying this sucks now, but they're gonna switch up on it like they did Ohms, and it's like, dude,
I will not be a part of that.
people are like
Yeah.
trying to out Deftones fan each other, and like, guys, if the album's mid, just say that.
Mhm.
You don't have
Yo,
to like
yeah.
pretend you have some wild sight into the heart of this album that no one else can see, whether it be in a good way or a bad way. Overall, though, it's an alright album. Like, there are some albums that are bad in a way that you can actually detest and say, this was a cash grab, or like they clearly just don't want to do music anymore but feel the need to. It feels like they enjoyed this. Like, it sounds like they had a
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
time making it. It sounds like it has a soul. And that's a very good compliment.
That is the best compliment I could give Deftones, because through all of their music, there's only one album that I kind of detest, and that's Ohms. Other than that, I think everything is pretty serviceable. It's pretty good, and I encourage anyone, if you like Deftones, I encourage you to familiarize it. it's such a special thing familiarizing yourself with a band's discography. And, don't let this one be the exception. It has heart. It has heart. It has this Deftones soul. It's maybe lower on the list, but Deftones is just that good, I guess.
Yeah,
Just that pretty good.
if you prefer a lot of very shoegazy, very ethereal music, you'll probably like this album a lot more. It just so happens that Trentin and I, at our core, for most of our teenage years, were metalheads, which means we liked heavy stuff and we liked groove. And we've both worked out of this cage of only liking metal. I like almost probably half, if not more, of my music taste isn't metal. So if you don't listen to any metal and you just like a nice floaty kind of album, this is a good album for you probably. But for us,
Let's say it at the same time.
no, Trentin. we have to escape this cop out of just calling things mid and not providing actual.
You're right.
I hate the word mid so much because people will just say something's mid and then they won't explain anything beyond that. They'll just be like,
We just explained it for 50 minutes.
all right. 3, 2, 1.
It's mid.
I wasn't sure if you were just going to say the word mid or going to go it's mid.
No,
But yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Next episode should definitely be the Gojira ranking, assuming you do your homework.
Yes.
We said the next episode was going to be the Gojira ranking in the last one, but we wanted to review this. And then after that, depending on what ideas we have, we plan on reviewing the Revocation album that's coming out. If you're watching this and you're aware of an album that's coming out soon that we might not be, and you would like it reviewed, or even older albums that you would like to be reviewed, stick them in the comments, and we'll look at them and we'll go, okay.
I don't want to say it yet, but I do have a new album that I would like us to listen to pretty soon. So hopefully we'll get on that. Anyway, content soon.
Thanks, Frank, for watching. Bye.